Hi, I'm Terry Applebaum. In our last video, I asked, is it possible for an artist to have too much passion? Now I'm asking, is it possible for an artist to have too much practice? Once again, the answer may strike you as an obvious no. Practice makes perfect. You can never have too much practice. Everybody knows that. Practice serves two functions, and we will look at each one in a separate video. In part one, we consider practice and its influence on developing the technical control needed to communicate creative intention, understanding, and expression. In part two, we look at practice as a way to refine and hone our creative work. Both functions can enable or derail the career of an artist entrepreneur. Artistic expression requires passion and knowledge, but also technique. We know that. A developed technique enables communication of what we want to say artistically. And we all know technical facility comes from practice. But does the law of diminishing returns apply to practice as it did to passion? This graph represents the incremental value of my percussion practice. The data are based on dozens of my practice sessions. Thus, the graph shows an average or typical value from my practicing. During the first few minutes, improvement comes slowly. That's because I'm warming up. At about 10 minutes, the value begins to increase at quicker rates, approaching optimal performance between 45 and 50 minutes. That's the time when body and mind are at peak performance levels. Strong results tend to sustain until about 85 minutes, when, although still generating benefits, the value of each minute of practice begins to decline. I'm beginning to tire physically and mentally. Benefits from practice continue their decline at a faster and faster rate until, at about 140 minutes, the value from practice moves into negative territory. I'm worse off than when I started. Although individual graphs will reflect different practice routines, they all will share the same overall shape of the curve. Keeping your nose to the grindstone probably is not the best advice to follow when you approach your practicing. Pushing yourself to work for several hours at a time in front of the computer, easel, bar, or instrument will encourage fatigue, sap creative energy, and reinforce bad technical habits. None of these spells success for an artist entrepreneur. Become aware of the range of optimal value from practice for you. When you sense the value has begun to decline, that's a really good time to take a break, do some other work, even take a shower. You will return to the project with your creativity and skills refreshed. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to know more about the artist entrepreneur, please check out my website, www.terryapplebaum.com.